Hello and welcome back. I'm Dr. Lori Williams. I help individuals and corporations to create lasting mental and emotional wellness through holistic practices. And today I want to talk to you about getting started in healing your inner child for an overall happier life. This is all areas of your life, career, relationships, all the above. So your first step is going to be acknowledging that your inner child has been through a lot. In most cases, it was our the child version of us that went through the things that are still, that we still carry with us into adulthood. Now, I mean, I do understand that bad things happen to adults as well, and I'm not trying to negate that at all. But in most cases, it was the child version of you that went through it. It's, your mind as the adult is replaying the events that happened to you when you were a child, and making it feel very real and very much part of who you are right now as an adult. But the truth of it is in most cases, the incident happened when you were a child. So it's that the child perception, the emotions that the child was feeling, that you need to look at in order to be able to move forward and to be able to heal at the root of these issues that you're carrying into your adult life. So this is why inner child healing, or at least looking at your inner child to see what you're holding on to, is so important through holistic counseling. We're looking at holistic counseling. We look at all aspects of you, not just, something that you feel as though you're going through right now. Because like I said before, a lot of the times it's connected to something that happened, in a lot of times it could be decades ago. So your first step is going to be like I said, to acknowledge that the inner child is the part of you that went through what it is that you're trying to heal. You want to identify and work on healing the wounds. Now, this is where it can get a little bit where my clients tend to struggle a lot, and I have to really support them through it, is when when you're looking at the inner child and the wounds that the inner child is holding, and it's like, okay, but I know that was okay. I know that, I understand now why that happened the way that it did, and I'm not holding on to anything around that anymore. And although it's great as an adult that you've been able to recognize and be able to process what has happened in a healthy way, it doesn't necessarily mean that the emotions that the child held on to have been released. So I always tell my clients it's worth looking at it and not needing to, rather than not looking at it and needing to. So you want to make sure that the way the child version of you processed the instance is what you're dealing with, not the adult perception. Because the truth of it is, the adult perception can definitely be very, very different than the child version of it. So they both need to be acknowledged, and then they both need to be looked at. You want to practice self-compassion, self-understanding, making sure that you're talking to yourself in a healthy way. Don't be putting yourself down. Don't be, denying yourself the love that maybe you weren't getting in the time when you were going through what it was that you were going through. The greatest gift that you can give yourself throughout the inner child healing is to be able to reparent yourself. So the truth of it is anybody in our life can only treat us the way they treat themselves. That is the truth of it. They can only see us as deeply and as they see themselves. So if you had a parent that struggled with how they see themselves, they're not going to have the ability to be able to see you. And so ultimately, if they struggle with loving themselves, they may not have been able to show you the love that you needed. Everyone loves other people the way they need to be loved. So unless you said to your parent, hey, this is how I need to be loved, you're doing it wrong, then they're going to love you the way that they need to be loved, and not necessarily the way that you need to be loved. So the greatest gift you can give yourself as an adult is to reparent yourself and give yourself the love that maybe you didn't necessarily have. I'm not saying that you weren't loved as a child. I'm saying that you may not have been loved the way that you needed. And it's never too late to be able to give that to yourself. You want to create a sense of safety in the times when you maybe didn't not feel safe. Like I said, it's never too late to reparent yourself. And it is the greatest gift that you can give yourself, is reparenting yourself. The inner child healing responds very, very well with making time in your life for creating joy and having playful time. A lot of my clients, when I talk with them, they're like, well, I don't even know what I enjoy doing anymore. We as adults get so stuck in the grind of life, we don't even remember what it's like to enjoy life and to have joy in our lives. So my response to them is always, think back to what did you used to enjoy when you were a kid? Was it skipping rope? Was it playing road hockey? Was it shooting baskets? Whatever it was, go and start there, because there's going to be a part of you that is still going to be very drawn to those things. As the adult version of you, you can grow and evolve from that, but it's always a good place to start with being able to cultivate joy and happiness in your life and playful time in your life, is to go back to the things you enjoyed doing as a child. You want to also release limiting beliefs of like old beliefs that you had, recognizing that in a lot of cases, your childhood beliefs aren't necessarily helping you as an adult. For an example, if you have, had this belief of that there was monsters under your bed as an adult, that's not going to serve you in any way, shape, or form. So it's time to be able to release those kinds of things, those kinds of the wiring in your head, the way your brain is wired. Just create new beliefs for yourself and for who you are and where you are right now. This is actually a habit that you should get into, because even as adults, we outgrow our beliefs of ourselves, of others, of, the world around us. We're constantly outgrowing them. We're constantly evolving. So it's such a powerful tool to be able to look at what it is that, like, what are your core beliefs? And do they still ring true for you? Like, even if they rang true for you a month ago, do they still ring true for you today? You want to continue to foster like this loving, this loving relationship with yourself. I tell my clients all the time, you will be your greatest love affair. And it is such a beautiful process to be able to go through, this amount of love and feel this love for yourself. And the really beautiful part of it is it always overflows into every other area of your life. So the more you love yourself, and I know this sounds cliche, but the more you love yourself, the more it's going to overflow into loving others and showing others support and being able to be there, showing up as your most true and authentic self in all areas of your life. And it's going to impact all areas of your life tenfold. If you need support, never be ashamed of seeking support if you need support, whether through, traditional therapies or like holistic counseling. You're not necessarily always going to be able to go through these things alone, because it comes down to it. It's hard sometimes to see the things that you may not, it's just always been who you've always been. So it's like, how do I see myself from a different perspective? And until you're used to kind of being able to take that step back and look at yourself almost as if you're looking from the outside in, until you learn that skill and are able to do that, you may need some help and support. And there's absolutely no shame in that. So, inner child healing is it is a beautiful, beautiful process. It's really about healing the parts of you and building that relationship with yourself that you may not have had as a child. I believe whether you've had trauma as a child or not, everyone should go through inner child healing and be able to build that relationship with yourself. There's nothing greater, no greater gift that you can give yourself than having a very deep love for yourself and being able to take care of yourself in a relationship with yourself. So if you need any support, please reach out to me. I'm always here to help you and to support you through whatever it is that you're dealing with. And I thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here next time.